What's up, YouTube? Today is a fun day. I finally got something in the mail that I've been waiting for about 6 weeks now, and tonight I'm going to swap out my cluster for a STI cluster. Currently have, right now, a Forester STI cluster, which is okay. It's not bad, but it's kind of boring. So today I'm going to switch it to an 05 to 07 STI Impreza cluster, and I'll show you what I got. All right, so here's what I got. This is a 05 to 07 Impreza STI cluster, and just got this in the mail today. This is from, God, what's the name? Aaron's Subi Electronics. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty certain it's Aaron's Subi Electronics. So this is going to be a custom harness that you order. This took about 6.5 weeks to get here. You get a lot of different options for it, depending on what you have or what you want in the future. You can do a rear diff ground, you can do DC/CD, yes or no, ABS fix, dimmer, all that cool stuff. He does all sorts of really trick stuff for this thing. And this will allow a plug and play for the STI cluster into the Forester. You'll just have to modify the instrument cluster surround. So I got those two, and then I also went ahead and picked up a brand new plastic piece, the cover, just because this one's a little dingy, and I suspect I'll probably scratch it up a little bit during the install. So let's get to installing it. And also, just a little sneak peek, just in case you see all sorts of white dust and everything all over the car while we do this install. This is why. I am currently also in the process of installing genuine Carlton flares for the Forester. I will say that these are absolute garbage. I would never recommend anybody to buy these unless you're a professional body man or you're going to pay big bucks to have them installed. But yeah, just wanted to show you why you're seeing all sorts of white dust all over the car. Back to the instrument cluster. So I know it's been done before. There's a couple other write-ups on here. Totally fine. Just kind of doing my own thing. So you're going to have 2 screws here and here. Simple little Phillips screws. So we're just going to go ahead and undo those. Try to do this while filming, but don't see it's going to work out. No, it's not going to. I'd rather make it a less pain in the ass. So I will start filming again once I'm done. Okay, went ahead and got those 2 screws off. Now you just go ahead and pop this off. It's easy just to pull it forward, twist down the side, and it comes right out. After that, you're going to have 3 screws here. Let me get that into focus. Wow, okay. Come on, there we go. You have a screw here, which, fortunately, just realized mine's broken. There and down there. So let's go ahead and get those off. Okay, now that that's done, you're going to go ahead and get a connector that's there. There's a connector behind this big white one, and then another one over here. You're just going to go in. The tabs are on the outside, and you're just going to lift it. Well, they're on the outside of facing you. I guess that's a better way of putting it. So there you go. There's one connector out. All right, again, I'll stop filming so I can do this real quick. And okay, so got the cluster out. Like I said, you have one plug there, one plug there, one plug there. And then same thing, kind of like the cluster, you kind of pull it out, twist it off to the side, comes right out. So she's done, she's out. Here's the connectors here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take that Aaron's Electronics harness, plug them into each 3 of these, tuck it into the back, plug in the new cluster, and then just do the opposite. Put it right back in and it'll screw right in. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to go ahead and replace this little plastic cover. It's real simple. You have tab, tab, tabs. So you basically just push down on these little tabs that are right back here, and you go all the way around, and then it'll just kind of make a popping sound, and then it should just pop right off. So, and then once you're done there, you just go ahead and get the new one. And this wasn't too bad. I want to say this was maybe like $30. Not too bad. And to get a brand spanking new lens, like, see how much better that looks. And then it's just as simple as just popping it in. This one's a little tighter because it's new, but so just kind of go along all the edges. Just take your time. There you go. There we go. And look at that. Beautiful. All right, next on the list, let's go ahead and get this installed. So it looks like the way he does it is these are all going to stay as a bundle. Don't try to pull them apart or anything like that. So this side, obviously, this is the female end, goes into the male end, and you'll just connect them. Good thing is you can't get it wrong. All three connectors are completely different. So there's only one way it goes. And we'll go ahead and get that done now. Okay, just as simple as that. Let's go ahead and tuck this back as far as we can. There we go. And now all we're left with are the 3 plugs. So let's go ahead and get this cluster put in. All right, so all you want to do is essentially the reverse of what you did to get it out, which might be a little more difficult. Let me try and... So let's go this way with it, and it goes down, and slides in. All right, let me go ahead and get those plugs plugged in. All right, so I got her all plugged in and actually screwed in. So one of the things that you might run into, like I did, is these bottom ones did not actually seem to line up with the screw holes at all. This one was a little far over this way. That one was a little far over that way. So what I did was I just put the screw in at that angle, and then I kind of just pushed the screwdriver that way and then screwed it all in, and everything bolted down just fine. It's in here nice and sturdy. So this will be... I just bought this thing off of eBay, so this will be all of our first times to see if, you know, this thing works and all the lights work. So here we go. Oh, God, that looks so much better. Oh, that's beautiful. What a difference. Oh, I'm so excited. You know, basically when we're in our cars, this is our home. This is where we live. So you want to look at something that's pretty awesome, pretty. I mean, look at that. Oh, love it. Okay. All right. Now let's work up to the instrument cluster. All right. So here's the part that I have not seen a video of anybody actually doing to install these. It's usually I already installed it, but here, let me just show you, the finished product. So we're all going to just do this together because I have no idea either. So apparently what you need to do is just cut off enough of this back section. They say kind of just follow this line just a little bit over. Okay, so let's start there. We'll just cut this little section off. All right, so what I'm going to do, I won't be able to show you guys everything, but what I'm going to use is just a grinder with a cutting wheel, and I'll check back in as soon as I'm done. Okay, so you can kind of see where I'm cutting, like right at the edge. Like you can just see right there, the end of the actual plastic. So as close to this as I can possibly get. I'd rather start there and then have to cut more than cut too much. It's usually down here along the bottom that people tend to have the problem, so I'd rather have a little too much left over. So let's keep going. Okay, another update. So this is where I'm currently at. I have I'd say most of it pretty well cut out, maybe except for the little bits along the bottom. So I'm still working those areas. I know they talk about how there's a gap usually along that bottom, so I kind of want to keep a little bit of this, and if I can kind of hide that little bit of a gap and just kind of make this look a little nicer, I'm going to give that a shot. So I'll check in again in just a minute. Okay, so with what I showed you last time, here's the install. So technically it does fit. It is all the way in. And, you know, there's the known little gap here. Nothing you can really do about that. But with this little bit left, you lose that little gap that these are notorious for. So I might just try and smooth this out and see if I can't make that look a little bit better, but keep it so I don't have that notorious little gap on there. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so I think I'm going to move away from the grinder now that we're kind of at this rough stage here, and I'm going to go ahead and start working with my rotary here, with my Dremel, and we'll just try and clean everything up, try and get this looking a little bit better, but I want to keep as much of this as I can and see if I can't make it look okay. So let's see what we can do. All right, and here's what I ended up with. So you can see it's all cut as close as I could get to the cluster section, as close as I could get. And then what I ended up doing was, I don't know how well it's going to come out. I left a little bit of the ring, and it just kind of comes up and then it goes over. So you have this little lip along the bottom. It's not perfect. There you go. Now you can kind of see it. It's not perfect, but what it should do is block out that, there, now you can kind of see. So I left just a little bit of that ring. I just kind of had it fade away into nothing. So it kind of comes down and then it goes up. I was kind of limited on exactly how I could, what was I going to say? How much lip I could have, because it had the mileage, the trip reset right here. So there's a little divot, still a tiny little one right there, but I went as far as I possibly could with it, and just a little bit left of that lip along the bottom. Let's see what it looks like installed. All right, you guys, well, there she is, all installed. And for anybody that's installed this before and knows, you get these little sections right here where the cluster comes up and goes over, and you can just kind of see through it and it looks awful. So that's why I left this little gap here, which I don't think looks bad at all. Let me try and get a more light for you guys. There we go. There we go. So that's going to give you a realistic look of what you're dealing with these. They're not perfect. They don't fit perfect. You would need to do a whole 3D printed custom cluster. So no matter what, you end up with that gap on the side. That is absolutely unavoidable. But I just was able to show you guys that you guys can negate that one down there, which that's the one that's always bugged me. I think what I might do along the sides is just get some black insulating foam and just run it along each side there. And that should fix that. But let's go ahead and do one final, as they say, cold start for the boys, but I won't fire it up. Oh, God, that looks so cool. All right, you guys. Well, I hope this helped you guys. All in, I don't know what time it is. All in, this took me about 1 hour to do. All in. Actually, you know what? Here, let me show you guys real quick everything that I used to do this. Oh, I can make this really fast. Ignore the mess on the floor. That's what I used. So, little screwdriver to get the instrument cluster surround off, and the one screw up at the top. The long screwdriver to get the two towards the bottom out. I used this to do the rough cutting, but I guess in theory, I could have just used this the entire time if I really wanted to. This is a Dremel. I mean, you can use any sort of Dremel, any sort of cutting tool, as long as it's a small enough one that you can do kind of fine little touches with. But that's it. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one.